What would you do if you had a big, beautiful tree in the front yard and it had to come down, but you wanted another big tree in its place? What would your options be? Well, it turns out you've got lots of options. Today, Roger's going to be working with our homeowners to show them just what those options are. And when they have picked their perfect tree, he'll show them what it takes to get that big tree replanted. Good morning. I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to Ask This Old House. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Kevin.
So here you've been going through the mailbag looking at the viewer tips?
I have, and I actually have a viewer tip that uses a simple straw to solve a messy problem.
Oh, great.
And I've got a simple solution too, Kevin. We get more than our share of complaints about noises from ducts or pipes. These homeowners complain that the heating system woke them up in the middle of the night. These?
All right, sounds good. But first, let's find out how Roger is making out in that front yard.
Roger, this is why we emailed you. It's hard to believe, but this was the site of a magnificent 45-year-old maple tree.
What happened to it?
Well, we had to have it cut down. About 5 years ago, we had a cable installed between the two leaders, but we were advised at that time that if the cable broke, it would come down in the house, and we were afraid of that.
Well, it's fairly common for a red maple to have two trunks or co-dominant stems. What happens is the tree grows and gets taller. It adds weight on the outside through the addition of new branches and leaves. All that added weight can pull the stems apart and split it right down the middle. Now, that was a 45-year-old red maple, but it must have been as big as this oak tree is.
No, I actually think it was bigger.
Bigger?
Bigger tree. And we loved it because it provided shading in the summer and screening, and in the fall it was a beautiful, beautiful color. Now, what we want to replace it with, we don't want to replace it with a little teeny tiny tree. We want to replace it with a big tree, a substantial tree.
You want a big tree? Yeah. I'm going to take you to a nursery that has mature trees we can pick from to get a new tree for your front yard. But the first thing I want to do is grind that stump.
Sounds good.
Andy, I flush cut the stump using a chainsaw to make it easier for us to grind. Now, I picked up this stump grinder at the local tool rental yard. It has a gas engine, drives the belts, which power up the business end, which is these carbide teeth. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it over, get it in position. We pull this lever to lock one wheel, okay? That'll allow us to swing back and forth. So what we're going to do is start up the machine, swing back and forth, lower it down, and nibble right away at that stump like a big piece of corn. You all set?
I am.
Hold that up for me. Looks like he's got the hang of it. Let's leave Andy with the heavy work, and we'll go pick out the tree.
I like that.
We're at a 16-acre large tree nursery.
When you say large tree, what does that mean?
Well, that means that all the trees here started growing as little trees someplace else. Then when they got to be medium and large trees, they were dug up and brought here and planted. But when they planted them here, they spaced them out. And the reason they spaced them out is they want these to grow into mature specimens. Then they have room to come in and dig them. You recognize this tree?
Looks like our maple tree.
That's a red maple, but this is a red maple called October Glory. Now, October Glory red maple has spectacular fall color.
So what color will it turn?
Red, burnt orange. It's an absolute beautiful sight in the fall.
But it's a maple tree, so how tall and wide will it get?
Remember your old one?
I do.
35 or 40 feet wide and the 35, 40 feet tall.
Too tall, too wide. What about that one?
Well, this tree over here,
That's beautiful.
this is called paperbark maple, Acer griseum. Take a look at this bark. This is exfoliating bark. As it peels back, it exposes the copper-colored bark underneath.
That would provide a lot of interest for us. In 6 months a year, we don't really have any leaves on our trees.
How old do you think this tree is?
10 years old?
35 to 40. And because it's such a slow-growing tree, it's one of the most expensive trees in the nursery.
So it really would never provide us with enough shade or screening.
Not for a long,
No.
long time.
What about an ornamental?
An ornamental, you mean like a flowering tree?
Yeah, something like that.
We have one over here. This is an aristocrat pear.
When you say pear, are we going to get huge, messy fruit?
No, it's not like the fruiting pear at all. It's going to have a very small fruit on it, a quarter to a half an inch, and the birds will probably take care of it before you ever see it. If you look here, though, you'll see all these flower buds that are starting to come out?
So what color will they be?
The tree is going to be covered with white flowers. Very, very early in the spring. I mean, in 2 weeks, we're going to have flowers on this.
That'll be beautiful. Then what color leaves in the summer?
Well, it's going to have green leaves in the summer, but the thing about this tree is it holds those leaves on way long into the fall. When all the other trees are going to be turning in October and early November, this is still going to be green, and then the leaves are going to turn.
So it extends our season for us.
Right, and you're going to have nice red to copper-colored leaves on this tree.
So we have the buds in the spring, we have the nice foliage in the fall, and how tall will it get?
Probably 35 or 40 feet.
Sounds like the perfect tree for us. I think we'll take it.
We're going to dig this tree using a tree spade. This is a great piece of equipment. It goes around the tree, digs the tree, lifts it up, puts it on the truck, and transports it to your house. You can see what he's done is he's added water. Not only does it water the tree, but it lubricates the spades and helps them go in the ground easier. You hear how quiet those spades went in the ground?
I do.
That's a great thing. That means there's no rocks there at all, and the spades are going to go all the way to their full depth. Now with the spades sunk to their full depth in the ground, he's going to lift the tree right out of the ground and tip it up onto the truck. The spade did a great job of capturing almost all the roots. There's very few left behind. The tree's going to do great. Now the spades are just going to tip down onto the back of the truck and lay the tree down nice and gently. He'll put a top on it. We're ready to transport it to your house. Great job, Andy.
A lot of work, Roger.
How'd you like to do that all day long?
I sure wouldn't.
Let's think a little bit about the placement of our pear tree and where we want it to go.
Well, we certainly don't want it this close to the house. Maybe out there somewhere.
Sure.
And we want to keep it away from the driveway so it doesn't hurt the asphalt.
All right. I always like to place a flowering tree in front of a window, like this big picture window right here. So if we stay away from the house, away from the driveway, and center it on the window, it would be right about here. Can I have that hammer?
Sure.
Now, we dug the tree with an 80-inch spade. That means we have to dig at least an 80-inch hole, but we always like to make it a little bigger. So we're going to make this hole 9'6". You just take the spray paint, you or Andy. I'm going to go 4'9" for the radius and have you spray paint a mark right there. Okay? Take the tape with you and follow it right around. That's it. Chase the tape all the way around. Keep going. You got it? Perfect. Now we're ready to dig. Andy, we're going to dig the hole for the tree using a track excavator. And to protect the edge of the driveway and the lawn, we're going to lay down these plastic mats to drive it in on. While he's digging the hole, I want to go around the edge and cut the grass and the roots so we'll have a nice, neat job. So just take the shovel and go around and just cut it down as deep as you can.
How deep a hole are you going to dig?
About 5 feet.
Sounds good.
Now we're down to the original subsoil. See the yellowish colored soil that's there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that looks pretty good for depth. Let's bring in the tree.
Sounds good.
Now we got 9,000 pounds of root ball, 1,000 pounds for the tree. That's 5 tons of material in this tree spade. Without a tree spade, we would have dug it by hand, lifted it with a crane, put it on a trailer, came here, lifted off with a crane, and put it into the hole. That's an awful lot of work. We're just pushing the soil in around the spades. You can try to get it about halfway up, and then we're going to water it in. Using the hose, I'm washing all this soil down around the tree spade, so when we lift the spades up, the tree doesn't move. It stays right in place. All right, we're ready. Let's pull the spades. You'll notice he's taking them out a little at a time so that the tree doesn't shift in any direction. All right, let's untie the tree. All right, now what we want to do is just clean up all the soil around the tree, and we're going to take and use most of it to build a berm on this low side. All right, last step. We're going to add this root stimulant to the tree. We're going to spread it around, and you're going to water it right down into the root system. So what do you think?
It's gorgeous.
Just this morning we had a barren front yard, and now we have a great, big, beautiful pear tree. Thank you, Roger.
My pleasure.
You know, the homeowners like the tree. I like the tree spade. That is an impressive piece of equipment.
That's every little kid's dream, to get in and to drive one of those.
Absolutely. Why would you use a tree spade to dig the hole for that tree?
Well, an expensive piece of equipment. The more you use it, the wear and tear, you got to fix things. Plus, the spade, if you're digging down in and there's a big rock in the bottom of the hole, it can't lift it out. With the excavator, you can go down and take a rock out. You can also open that hole up so you can get good soil all the way around the tree.
Now, a job like that with a big tree and that tree spade, it can't be cheap.
$4,500.
That
Like I
much,
said.
huh?
Yeah, installed. Yeah.
All right, you can go and get a tree sapling for what, $8 or $10?
Right.
That's a bargain.
Okay, now we take that sapling, put it in the front yard, tie up that space, water it, fertilize it, spray it if you have to, and, you know, soon, 20, 25 years, presto, you got a $4,500 tree. A lot of things go into the cost of the tree. Now, in a usual tree nursery, they're going to rotate that crop every 3 to 5 years, just like a farmer does. They just get it in and get it out. So the trees are spaced really close together. Now, in a mature tree farm like we went to, they're spaced out 20 or 25 feet apart, so there's less trees per acre, so there's more cost there, plus the feeding, spraying, pruning, everything that's involved.
But it gives you a healthier tree.
Exactly.
And time is money.
Time is money.
Nice job, Roger.
Thanks. Guys, I am really excited about this.
I tell.
It's a gray plastic cylinder, and on the end of it goes this grid. It just snaps right in place.
Easily, yeah.
Sort of easy for me to do.
Yep.
What is it?
I know exactly what it is. I actually have one of these at home. You know, you ever, when I'm watching the soaps, you know, for example, you have
You watching so?
yeah, well, you have a beer or two, you know.
A tube?
You know, you have the beer. Well, this is actually a beer cozy. You know the toy, the Weebles wobble, but they don't fall
Sure.
down?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is a beer cozy that wobbles, but it won't fall
That's
down.
pretty good. You might
know,
go over, but
Well, you have a couple too many, you know, next thing you know, you're out, you wake up, your pants are all wet.
How pathetic that image is of you at home during the day, watching soaps, drinking beer, falling asleep.
All right, so I watch a game. All right?
Yeah.
I saw these in an ad in American Corn magazine.
ACM.
Great magazine.
Let me guess. You just get it for the articles.
Yeah, they're great, good writers. You know, it's summer and everyone wants to boil the corn and butter it. So this is made to put a little bit of butter right in here. You can
Canned
either spin
corn?
it. No, not canned corn. Ears of corn. You can either spin it here, a single, or you can have two, or you can put one in here, right? And then you drip the excess butter
Corn
out.
shaker.
Good to go.
Ah,
Isn't that cool?
no. And it's not even close to what it is. Boys, this is for hunting flies.
What?
Yeah, there's no sport in actually killing a fly with something that's got a long
No.
handle on it.
Yeah,
Piece of
it's
cake.
easy, yeah.
So this one comes to us from the NFL.
Officially licensed?
Oh, absolutely. Now let's say you see a fly up on the wall, right?
Okay,
Watch.
yeah.
Fly!
Got him. You guys are so out of
I got
control.
him. Oh, I got him.
You know, this is actually to keep squirrels from getting in your house.
What, you got to throw it to the squirrel?
No. You ever watch them? They run down the power lines and they go right into the house?
Yeah,
We're going to stop them. Say this is a power line.
that's a power line.
Pull that end of it.
It's all football, Ken.
Usually we would take and just snap it over.
Oh, you can't do that. Utility company, man?
You got to have someone
Or a
licensed to do
squirrel
it.
expert.
Yeah.
Well, that's-
What we're going to do is we're going to slide it on in our case. Give me that one more,
There
Kev.
we go.
Yeah.
You got one with a baffle on the end there?
Yep.
You want one on the other end?
Yeah.
Look
There we
at
go.
you.
Beer out of there?
Got it?
Slide it down that
Keep
way.
coming.
There you go.
All right.
Pull it tight.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here comes Mr. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Hits the baffle and goes, oh no, I don't know what to do anymore. But there's always one, a wise guy. He climbs over the top, he hits the middle cylinder, spins and falls to the ground.
Bad rock?
I've never heard a squirrel talk before.
And not like that.
We're here in a typical post-war neighborhood. Built in the 50s, a series of Cape-style houses. Now, these homeowners sent us an email saying they have a heating system that wakes them up in the morning. Hello there, Len.
Hey, yes.
Nice to see you. How are you?
Yeah, come on in. This is my wife, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. How are
Hi,
you?
good. Nice to meet you.
It's my pleasure. So how long have you guys been here?
6.5 months.
We're newlyweds.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your first house?
Yes.
Great. How can we help you?
Well, every morning when the heat kicks on, it creates a ticking noise and it wakes me up.
Great. So wake you up too?
No, not really.
That's pretty good. She's a heavy sleeper. I'm a light sleeper.
Now, I asked you to leave the thermostat down.
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Let's move that thermostat to a higher setting and let's see what we got.
Okay, you got it. So, Richard, imagine this. I'm lying in bed every morning and I hear this ticking noise before my alarm goes off. It comes from right over there from that radiator.
Okay, now that is not actually a radiator. It's actually called a convector. It's very typical of a house of this era. Cool air is drawn into this opening at the bottom, and the heated air comes out through this grill right here. Let me just pull the cover. Can you just grab that for me?
Yep, no problem.
All right, the way that it works is heated water comes up through a pipe right here. That's the supply pipe. And it goes into this element. Now, the element is a series of pipes that have fins on them. And water passes through those pipes and then returns ultimately to the boiler right here. Now, when this is heated, the cool air is drawn in, the warmer air rises and comes out through that front grill. Let's just, oh, you can actually hear it. Do you listen? Oh, that would wake you up. Does that not wake you up, Kelly?
No.
That's pretty good. Let's go to the basement and see what we got.
So here we are underneath our bedroom where I think the noise is coming from.
All right, anytime I hear this complaint about noise when the heating system first comes on, I think about expansion noise. So we're going to check what you've got here. You've got a trunk that runs around the basement here, feeding the convectors. All right, here's your heating boiler. This is an oil-fired boiler. Here's the burner right here. Fires into this cast iron boiler. Now, this boiler does two things. It heats the building, but it also makes the hot water for the faucets. This is called a tankless. Now, this is a copper coil that sits inside the boiler and heats up the water for the faucets. That means this boiler sits hot day and night. So it's sitting down here hot all night long. At 5:30 in the morning, when the thermostat calls for heat, this circulator pump takes hot liquid out of the boiler and pumps it through this pipe. So let's follow it. It's a copper pipe, comes along here. And this system is called a monoflow system.
Now, monoflow, what does that mean?
Well, monoflow means one supply trunk that goes right around the perimeter of this building. And you can see there's a special diverter tee right here. Some of the water continues through the trunk, and some is forced up through the supply pipe right here.
Like the supply line that goes up to the convector?
Right. This goes up into that element I showed you upstairs that has those pipes with the fins on it. The water passes through the element, heat's given up to the room. Water returns right here through the return pipe, and it rejoins the main with another diverter tee right here. And this is repeated for all the convectors in the building.
Okay, but what's that have to do with the noise that I'm hearing?
Well, think about what happens. You don't have the heat on all night. This pipe might take on the temperature down here, 65 degrees.
Right.
You turn that thermostat on, and all of a sudden 200-degree water leaves the boiler. And now when you do that, any pipe, copper or steel, will expand. It'll actually expand along its length.
Oh, wow, okay.
Now, 50 feet of pipe at this condition could grow by 3/4 of an inch.
Wow.
Get longer. So now if it gets longer, I'm looking for places where that expanding pipe could be rubbing up against wood, causing friction, like right here. That doesn't seem too bad. But look at this right here. This is right up against this wood support, so you might hear this noise.
Yep, that's it. So essentially what you're telling me is that I'm hearing expanding pipes rubbing up against wood.
That's right. And we have to find any place that condition happens and isolate it.
Okay.
Let me run to the truck. So we are looking for any place that a pipe can be touching wood, like this. Now, right now, these are supported with a metal U-shaped clip, which pushes that pipe right up against the wood. We're going to replace these clips with a clip like this. It's a plastic clip called a Mickey, and it actually is a clip, but also an isolating sleeve. There's no chance of that pipe touching wood. So it starts, Kelly, by prying down the existing metal clip. Just be careful. Now from the other side. Okay, Kelly, our pliers might help get that out. All right, great, Kelly. Let's put our clip on. I want to hold it in place with a couple of screws. Good. So now you can see how that sleeve really isolates that pipe from ever touching the wood. So we've got clips on all the horizontal piping down in the basement. We also have to think about the vertical pipes, the risers which come up through the floor. We don't want that pipe rubbing against the finished floor. So for that, we'll have 1/2-inch Mickeys. I don't even need to screw them into place because they'll hold perfectly. So if you go around to every convector on the first floor and put those on, you might be able to sleep in tomorrow.
All right, I'm on it.
All right.
Richard, thank you so much.
Good luck with it.
It's time for another viewer tip, and this one comes to us from Stephen in Athens, Illinois, and it has to do with easy glue cleanup. Tom, what do you think?
I like it. Watch this. When you're trying to glue two pieces of wood together, forming a 90-degree corner, you put the glue on one piece. When you put the two pieces together, the glue will always ooze out. Now you have to clean that up. You can take a rag and wipe it, but then you got to sand the wood because the excess glue gets all over everything. Steven suggests using a plastic straw. Pushing it in the corner, it will conform to the corner. Go up the joint, cleaning the glue off, it goes into the straw, and now you've got a nice clean corner.
Well, that is clever.
Now you take a pair of scissors, I nip off that straw with the glue in it, and I'm ready for another corner.
Now that is a great tip. As a thank you, Stephen, we're going to send you an Ask This Office t-shirt.
All right. Well, if you've got a tip for us, or if you've got questions about your house, let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor.
I'm Roger Cook.
I'm Richard Thuy.
And I'm Tom Silva.
For Ask This Old House.
That really cleaned it up well, huh?
Cleaned it up very nice.
Was that the last straw?
Richard.
If you have a question about your house or a tip you'd like to share, please let us know. Visit our website, pbs.org, for expert advice, step-by-step videos, and much more. Next time on Ask This Old House, Roger shares some finer points on planting cactus. And the guys ask, what is it?
Well, I invented this. It is a gravity-assisted stapler.
That's next time on Ask This Old House.